Yo, welcome to another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. I'm your host, Nico. We are your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. We cover the Bitcoin news, the culture, the fails by the central bankers, the memes, all of it. We have a very special show for you guys lined up. It's the continuation of the separation of money and state. And boy, does the state... They don't want to give up the keys. I mean, can you blame them? They are psychopaths. Anyways, I want to give a shout out to our special guest all the way from the UK. How you doing, Ragnar?
I'm great, Nico. Thanks for inviting me onto the show. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you. And of course, the legendary Optimus Fields.
What's up, Nico? What's up, Ragnar? What's up, everyone? Forgive me. I am in Austin. I do not have my green screen today. I am live from Austin, and you'll see behind me that I'm in the office. I got some cool vibes over here, guys. Anyways, for today, guys, we're gonna cover the How to Be a Bitcoin Maximalist, Pete Rizzo's article that dropped on Forbes. I think there's a lot of signal in there, and it definitely tells why we are Bitcoiners and why we, are called toxic. And so I think this is going to be an interesting one. I hope you guys have a good time. And of course, see us tomorrow at BitBlock Boom. Your boy will be there. So let's get into this, Nico. This is going to be a good day.
Absolutely. So tomorrow we will be streaming from the BitBlock Boom account. So no episode. But Simply Bitcoin will be hosting all the BitBlock Boom event from 8:45 a.m. in the morning all the way till 5 p.m. It's going to be awesome. We will make sure to post it on our Twitters. Check out the BitBlock Boom Twitter account. We will also be posting it from the Simply Bitcoin account. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite conferences. It is definitely one of the most maximalist conferences there are. I definitely want to recommend it if you guys haven't been. I think that's how me and Opti met, actually.
Literally, this is how we met for the first time in person, was at BitBlock Boom 2 years ago. Amazing how far we've come.
Amazing. But anyways, guys, it's time to start the show. Number time. Brought to you by NODL. They make some of the best Bitcoin nodes. Run your own version of Bitcoin Core, the Lightning Network, Whirlpool, and Dojo, all from the comfort of your own home. Remember, guys, if you don't run your own Bitcoin node, you're trusting someone else's. And if you're a digital nomad, you have no excuse, because now you could run a NODL through a virtual private server. Visit nodl.eu today. Booyakasha. At the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is at 20,705 sats per dollar, 4,830. Block height, 751,261. Reachable Bitcoin nodes, 14,896. That number needs to continue going up. That's why you guys should be running your own Bitcoin node. If you don't, you're trusting someone else's. That's a big no-no. Blocks to the halvening, 88,739. Halvening, estimate April 22nd, 2024. Total Lightning Network capacity, 4,574. Capacity value, we're at 94 million USD. That number needs to keep going up. That number needs to keep going up. Hash rate, 207 exahashes. Realized monetary inflation, 1.78%. Absolutely taking the US dollar to school. Market capitalization, Bitcoin is a baby. It's under 400 billion US dollars. This thing is absolutely tiny. And of course, today we're going to cover something that was released yesterday. In my opinion, it was bombshell news. For audio listeners, this is Disclosed TV. You should definitely be following this Twitter account. It's awesome. And they reposted a video of Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Meta, also known as Facebook, on the Joe Rogan podcast. And he admits in this video, which we're going to play for you guys in a second, that the media company was censoring for the FBI. Now, here's the thing. We are a Bitcoin show after all, meaning we are we are freedom of speech maximalists, because Bitcoin functions the same way, right? So it's very scary that a government agency is getting to dictate, whatever your political beliefs are or not, right? It's absolutely terrifying that a government agency is dictating what speech is okay, what speech is not okay. And Opti and I have actually been covering this for quite a while, right? We have efforts by the European Union. We had an attempt by the Biden administration when they tried to launch the Ministry of Truth in the United States, right? So this is very scary stuff. And the reason that we wanted to cover this, right, is look, what makes you think that if you're not allowed to say certain things, you would have the ability to transact with whoever you want, right? So the fight for freedom of speech is the front line for the fight for Bitcoin. So it must be defended. You can't capitulate on that and then be surprised down the road where it's like, yeah, you can't do this, right? Another component, right, is this is what they're just doing with speech. Now, could you imagine what they're going to be doing with central bank digital currencies? Oh, wait a second. Did you just retweet a story we don't like? Your money, unfortunately, was shut down. If you think I'm exaggerating, it's already happening in China, and it happened to the truckers in Canada, right? So this is very important. We have to cover this stuff. You have to be on top of this. Anyways, I'm going to shut up. Let's play the video, and then we'll talk about it.
How do you guys handle things when they're a big news item that's controversial? Like there was a lot of attention on Twitter during the election because of the Hunter Biden laptop story. The New York Post.
Had that too.
Yeah, so you guys censored that as well?
So we took a different path than Twitter. I mean, basically the background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like you should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump of that's similar to that. So just be vigilant. So our protocol is different from Twitter's. What Twitter did is they said you can't share this at all. We didn't do that. What we do is we have if something is reported to us as potentially misinformation, important misinformation, we also have this third-party fact-checking program because we don't want to be deciding what's true and false. And for I think it was 5 or 7 days when it was basically being determined whether it was false, the distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. So you could still share it, you could still consume it.
So when you say the distribution is decreased,
it got shared.
How does that work?
It basically, the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less. So fewer people saw it than would have otherwise. So it definitely...
By what percentage?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's meaningful. But I mean, basically, a lot of people were still able to share it. We got a lot of complaints that was the case. Obviously this is a hyper political issue. So depending on what side of the political spectrum, you either think we didn't censor it enough or censored it way too much. But we weren't sort of as black and white about it as Twitter. We just kind of thought, hey, look, if the FBI, which I still view as a legitimate institution in this country, it's like very professional law enforcement, they come to us and tell us that we need to be on guard about something, then I want to take that seriously.
Did they specifically say you need to be on guard about that story?
No, I don't remember if it was that specifically, but it basically fit the pattern.
Dude, absolutely terrifying. If they don't allow you to, Opti took the glasses off his camera. If they don't allow you to talk about certain things, what makes you think they'll allow you to transact with whoever you want? And then it's a slippery slope, right? If this is what they're doing just with information, what if they successfully implement central bank digital currencies? And what if they follow the path of China, right? Clearly, the First Amendment in the United States is being thrown out the window currently. So what if they follow the path of China, right? Where if you tweet out certain things, if you make certain complaint, as was the case with the people that are trying to get their money out of the bank, right? Hey, you have a red QR code, you can't access your bank account, right? This is very, very scary stuff, man. We are definitely in the middle of this fourth turning, absolutely scary. And this is really when you don't back down. Freedom of speech must be defended. Freedom of speech is it's the front line for the battle of Bitcoin. This is why we talk about it. This is why we discuss it. And this is why you guys should definitely be in the know. Anyways, Opti, what are your thoughts?
Well, I was going to echo exactly what you ended this statement, and I'm really glad that you picked this for the numbers, because we say it all the time, and you said it again, like the fight for freedom of speech is a Bitcoin fight. And furthermore, we tell you guys all the time, like, this is why we are so adamant about Bitcoin being censorship resistant money, because, you know, or as we like to say on Bitcoin Twitter, it is fuck you money. You know, like, they can try to deplatform you, they can try to cancel you, and if you're, I know I don't have my tinfoil hat on, guys, but like, this should be terrifying to you. And I love how Nico always says, like, they're bearing the lead. And it popped into my head, like, when they said that they will decrease the distribution of truth, or decrease the distribution of the media. And that's why I added the truth part. It's like, they will do their best to stop the truth from being seen, and they will use whatever tactics they can on social media so that it doesn't spread. And it's like, this should be terrifying to you guys. I thought that, you know, social media and the internet is a technology for us to spread truth, to understand truth. And here we have the smoking gun of giant social media platforms stopping truth and the conversation of truth on their platforms. And this, like I said, this should be terrifying. And then furthermore, I love how they added the third party fact checking. Like, let's be objective in our fact checking. They don't want to be the arbiters of truth. And it's like, oh man, this should really make your head explode. But again, it's very subtle. If you're not a Bitcoiner, if you're not on the front lines trying to, you know, do your best to understand what's going on, you don't understand that they are trying to suppress the truth. But the truth will come out, and you know, it's just a matter of time. Look at yellow. Look at yellow.
God damn it, yellow. Anyways, Ragnar, what are your thoughts on this?
Hi, yellow. So, like, you know, it's you see when he said, you know, when Joe Rogan asked him, did the FBI come to you? And he quickly realized his mistake and tried to go back on the on what he just said. The truth just came out, and he tried to take it back with his body language, his eyes. If you see it, you know that these guys are fucking scumbags. You know, it doesn't, like, I don't. They are the people together. The big media, the government, the bankers, all the same thing. They want to control you. They want to, you know, stop whatever you have to say. Like, if I use the example of my country, Nigeria, if you are aware, last year, around the middle of last year, Nigerians were banned from Twitter. We couldn't speak on Twitter just because the government had a role with Jack Dorsey and, you know, and the company Twitter. The government decided that because our president had a role with Twitter, we banned all Nigerians from Twitter as a punishment for Twitter. But that was so, you know, these people want to control you. Government will always want to control you. They don't care about the people. None of them care about us. They just want to control. And unfortunately for them, just like Bitcoin is freedom. You can't censor information. Unfortunately for the Nigerian government, while they did that thing, a friend of mine called me. I can't go on Twitter anymore. I said, "You've never heard of VPN? You see this Streisand effect? It led to millions of people in Nigeria knowing what the VPN was, and within a few hours, many people were back on Twitter. You cannot censor information, and that is what we are doing here with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an idea, and it is information. You cannot censor it, no matter how much you try. So I say, let them keep on doing it. Try to censor our speech. We will keep doing what we are here for."
Yeah. And I think that it's interesting because and this is what I always say, right? In countries that, in the United States, it's hard to miss that. But in Nigeria, you guys don't have a stable fiat currency, right? So and correct me if I'm wrong, Ragnar, you guys have some of the largest Bitcoin and shitcoin adoption in the world because people are just choosing to opt out of that completely.
That's true. Yep, that's true. We have when I say America has when it comes to capital base in Bitcoin, America is like, of course, that's where the capital lies. But when it comes to adoption in terms of like number of people, Nigeria is a country of more than 200 million people, and over 30% of people are already aware of Bitcoin and crypto. The reason is simple. Our money devalues, when the US is complaining of a CPI of 9.1%, imagine what we are going through when the government is telling you that the CPI is 17.5. The real inflation on the streets is more than 35%, definitely more. I spoke with my siblings today. Some things doubled in price just in the last 2 weeks alone. So, where the reason for the Bitcoin adoption is governments can come out and say whatever they want to say. No matter what they say, the people are not going to listen to you because economic incentives drive people more. So you can't censor something that is making people free. That is why we are having that massive adoption. And you can see it replicated in other places, in other African countries, some Asian countries, and South American countries. You can't stop the adoption. Unfortunately, they can't.
And they know that, which is why they released that recent UN report, literally just complaining, saying we must stop adoption of Bitcoin and shitcoins in developing countries, because they know they're losing their grip. But the way that they're framing it is, hey, because these countries are adopting Bitcoin and shitcoins, that's a loss towards the country, when in reality it's really a loss towards the bureaucracy that benefited from controlling the money. But it's a benefit for the people, and none of these institutions ever cover that, which really exposes their incentives. And that's what really Bitcoin does. It exposes incentives. But anyways, let's get to the news. Daily news. Brought to you by CryptoCloaks.com. They make some of the best 3D printed Bitcoin merch, from node cases to key rings to the vents on the back of your ASIC for air management, and of course the famous 3D printed Bitcoin grenade toy, which comes in any custom color your heart desires. You want it in gold? They make it in gold. And you can take advantage of the promo code down below to get 5% off CryptoCloaks.com. All right, so let's check out the news for today. Do you guys remember this account? If you were here 2017, you remember this account is called Bitfinex, and their whole identity, the reason that they got very big on Twitter, was because they basically came up with the original Tether FUD, right? It was, hey, Tether doesn't have all the reserves. Tether is using fake US dollars that they created out of nothing, and they're using that to buy Bitcoin, right? That was their theory. And if you guys don't know, I'm probably sure most of you are Bitcoiners, so you don't really care. You're just stacking. But Tether is the third largest cryptocurrency, and it is the most important stablecoin, right? That's what people use to go trade in and out of Bitcoin. And in some developing countries, they even use it as a store of value because people can't shoulder the volatility of Bitcoin. So they use Tether as that, right? And we also remember that a couple days ago, there was a hit piece by the Washington Post that was making the case that Tether broke sanctions because they didn't freeze addresses that belonged to the Tornado Cash sanction list. And we were making the case that they were setting the precedent, right? That's what the Tornado Cash thing was all about. It was never about going after North Koreans. It was basically the US government trying to make cryptocurrency and Bitcoin an extension of the current exclusionary system, right? Well, this guy got proven wrong a couple days ago. Tether released an independent audit report, and it looks like they are backed. Let me read the announcements. Today, Tether Holdings Limited made available its latest quarterly assurance opinion, completed by BDO, a top 5 ranked global independent public accounting firm that at station reaffirms the accuracy of Tether's consolidated reserves report, which breaks held by the group as of January 3rd, 2022. The group's consolidated total assets amount to at least 66 billion US dollars. The group's consolidated total liabilities amount to 66 billion 200 million US dollars, roughly that. So it looks like Tether has roughly $200 million more in assets than they have of liabilities, right? So I mean, I'm just confused because, and I was a big believer in the Tether FUD for a while. Does this disprove it? I don't know. What do you think, Optimus?
I mean, I was going to ask the same thing. It's like Tether truthers in the news again. Like, let's go. But will this stop the Tether FUD? Probably not. You know, people,
I think there's a nail in the coffin,
I
bro.
agree. Like, well, I would fundamentally agree with you, but will people stop talking about this on Twitter? Probably not. It's like, we say it all the time, you know. Once the legacy media catches onto a narrative, they continue to push this narrative until it is fundamentally dead. And I just hope that we are at the point where we can put the nail in the coffin on the tethered truthers out there, because, hey, you know, there was that audit in the past that made a lot of noise. And now we have this by another independent auditor, and it's telling us that Tether is, you know, they have more assets than the tethers out there. And, you know, what's the meme on Twitter? Like, unleash the tethers, you know, pump Bitcoin. And man, now it's literally just like, it's just a meme now. So, hey, Nico, will this kill the Tether FUD? I sure hope so. But as we know, like, it takes a lot to combat the bullshit narratives. And, you know, we're doing our best to combat those narratives, but we're only 2 people on YouTube. And so it's like, there's a big army out there of tethered truthers that are going to continue to spin this narrative so that, you know, Bitcoin is again, you know, criminals and it's a Ponzi. And it's like, we know where their narrative is going to go. Like, we know how this is going to end. But I am glad to hear this. I am glad to hear that the Tether FUD out there is just that, and it's just FUD. And not that I was really concerned about it, because it's like, to me, I don't really care, man. Like, it was never a concern to me.
I was surprised. I mean, they've done sketchy things in the past. They've done sketchy things in the past. So like, I'm like, there's no way this is back, but I don't care because I'm a Bitcoiner. But
Exactly.
like, dude, I think they proved everyone wrong. BDO is a huge firm, so they put their name behind something like this. Like, it's no joke, right? Anyways, Ragnar, what are your thoughts, man?
I'm kind of happy that this audit came out, and why is it important to me? You know, what are the alternatives for people outside the West? You know, am I going to tell my people to sign up to USDC? And you know, some of us here, we need something that holds a stable value. I'm not talking about myself. Like, when you're in Bitcoin, you don't want to hold any government shit coins at any time. But some people who do not understand the value of Bitcoin yet want to hold temporarily, at least in the short term, the value of their work. And they prefer to do that in dollars, because in the last 2 years, my money, the money of Nigerians have decreased in value exactly half against the dollar alone. You know, we used to change for $1 to about 300 and something naira. Currently, it's over 700. So, you know, imagine the irony. As a Nigerian holding the dollar, you would have doubled whatever you had in naira. But as an American holding the dollar, you would have lost value against the products and services you want to buy. So that's how fiat is. Like we say, the dollar is the cleanest shirt in a day laundry. They are all the same thing, all dirty. Hold Bitcoin and forget about it. But I'm kind of happy this came out, because it would quell the fraud of the Tether fraud that has been going on for how many years now. And it also allows, you know, Tether is more none of them are decentralized. I mean, Tether is more, it's not like USDC that has you know, the control of basically the government and Ethereum and all these guys that want to tell us what to do.
Yeah, and man, I think the point that you brought up, where the dollar is the worst of all options, like, it's the best of terrible options, right? And now Bitcoin gives it competition, right? Which is why I think they're freaking out the way they are, right? But it's what you said, even in a country like Nigeria, where the dollar is still terrible, but it's that much better than your local currency. And now you have Bitcoin, which is just better than both of them, which really explains the adoption that you're seeing in Nigeria. And I suspect in more developing countries, it's going to follow that pattern. Anyways, the big news for today, let's check it out. PayPal joins the Trust Travel Rule solution. Now, I have to tell you guys a little bit about what the travel rule is first for you guys to kind of understand this. Travel rule was recommended by the Financial Action Task Force, or the FATF. FATF is an unelected bureaucracy. It's based in Paris, and they get to pick and choose what the rules are for financial regulation, KYC, AML, and all of that stuff. So again, unelected bureaucrats are making rules that is going to affect your life. Anyways, let's check it out. The Financial Action Task Force modified Recommendation 16, which has been called the Travel Rule Guidance to guard against money laundering and other illegal actions. The new travel guidance recommends virtual asset service providers, including exchanges, banks, OTC desks, hosted wallets, and other financial institutions. Now, that's the key word. You hear what they said, hosted wallets. To share certain identifying information about the recipient or receiver for cryptocurrency transactions of over the dollar amount or euro amount of 1,000 USD, right? Or 1,000 euros. Now, guys, the amount of exchanges that have signed up to this is absolutely alarming. I know what a lot of you guys are saying. It's like, okay, fine, this is just part of the KYC, this is the AML. This is the regulatory creep, right? This is what it's all about. This is how it starts soon. How long until they say, hey, you can't download a wallet from the App Store that doesn't identify who you're transacting with, the certain amount, the name of that person, the address of that person, and then again, that would just transform Bitcoin and how it functions into the existing system. And if you connect the dots with what they did with the Tornado Cash and how that scared the crap out of not only the Ethereum people and then making them realize, holy crap, Ethereum is run by Jeff Bezos, controlled by the US government, but it also led to Tether being attacked and saying, hey, Tether, you are breaking sanctions, right? So make no mistake, this is the slow regulatory creep. And most likely you're using an exchange that is participating in this. The only one that I didn't see is Bull Bitcoin, but the rest, they're participating, right? Strike is participating. Swan is participating. Gemini is participating. Kraken is participating. Binance is participating. Bittrex, BlockFi, Coinbase. All of them, except for Bull Bitcoin. Maybe a couple other. And why are they doing this? They weren't asked to do this. They're trying to get ahead of the regulatory hammer that's eventually going to come. But the case that I would like to make is I think you need to hold the line. I think exchanges are prone to this because they are running a business which are vulnerable to governments. But I think as individuals, you need to hold the line. And I think this is only enforceable in countries that have strong financial systems, because in Nigeria, for example, we're going to talk a little bit about that with Ragnar. Most people, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ragnar, and most people in developing countries, whether it's Venezuela, Nigeria, they buy Bitcoin peer-to-peer. There's giant WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups, and people are like, hey, can I get this $500 worth of Bitcoin here? Could you give me this price? And that's how trade is facilitated. How do you implement that regulatory system onto that? And now Nigerians have access to the financial world, where in the legacy system, these rails, these guardrails that they set up would be put in place so that that wouldn't happen, right? And now if you actually look at the receipts, and we had a really, really in-depth episode with a KYC AML expert, and he dedicated a large portion of his life to this. He did the research. If you look at the effectiveness of AML and KYC, according to his research, for our audio listeners, here's a picture. It says market for AML is 400 billion. Now, but here's the thing, right? Market effect. How effective is AML and KYC? It's stopping crime and seizing monies and funds associated with the crime. According to this report, it says the impact on criminal finances is 0.05%. That's it. That's it. So why am I bringing this? Why am I bringing this up? Well, it's the case that we were making about the UN. It's the case that we were making about a lot of these institutions that are coming out of the woodwork attacking Bitcoin, the World Economic Forum included in there as well. Maybe it has nothing to do with, to use the UN's own word, their own slogan, maybe it has nothing to do with the prosperity of the world. Maybe it has to do with power and control. Because if you get to decide these arbitrary numbers. Hey, any transaction over 1,000, you have to tell the government exactly what's going on there. That's a very strong method of control, right? And add central bank digital currencies in the mix. Don't you think they're going to enable even more types of control? So it's important that we call this stuff up. It's important that you're aware. It's important what this vocabulary is. AML, KYC. It's important that you know that they're using vocabulary like hosted wallet, like unhosted wallet. That's letting you know that the unhosted wallet is somehow abnormal. And in Europe, for example, they're making it even harder for you to take self-custody. And I suspect most Western countries are going to go down that path because they benefit tremendously from having a monopoly on the creation of money and the power that comes with that monopoly. I'm most bullish about developing countries because in developing countries, that's not the case at all. They use Bitcoin not to speculate, not for, for whatever reason, not because they think they're going to get rich. They use Bitcoin out of necessity, right? So over there, it's like, yeah, you might have those rules implemented on the legacy system, but if people are not even using the legacy system, they're just using Bitcoin to transact peer-to-peer in the circular Bitcoin economy. Can't stop the signal is what the case that we always make. And then that puts the developed countries at a disadvantage economically with the developing countries, because in the developing countries, it's a lot easier to do business because that red tape isn't there, right? Oh, God. I see the ominous clouds on the horizon. Anyways, Opti, what are your thoughts?
Go off, Nico. Go off, King. Let's go. First and foremost, the travel rule is garbage. It's like, it's so anti-Bitcoin. It's ridiculous. And the fact that... Go, Nico. You can continue.
It is. Go for it.
It's like, how much better can you meme it? It's so anti-Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a pseudonymous network, guys. It literally, you don't need your information to travel with your transactions. This is a feature, not a bug. And, as a paranoid Bitcoiner, I'm obviously not a fan of the travel rule, as you can tell. But it's obviously hard not to see that this is definitely these companies trying to get ahead of the regulation and trying to protect themselves. The whole strength in numbers meme. But man, it's so atrocious. It's like you said, 0.5% of transactions or criminal activity. It's just like they make us all look bad for literally 0.05% of it's absolutely amazing that we all get thrown under the bus for minuscule amounts of criminal activity. And furthermore, even if you allow that, cash is the biggest factor in criminal activity. This is why they want cash. I think it was Nico who said it on one of our other episodes that 80% of all cash is in $100 bills. And I know you don't have $100 bills just laying around. I wonder who has all that money laying around. But furthermore, back to the travel rule. Travel rule is garbage, guys. It's so atrocious. Why do these companies have to bend the knee to the state?
I understand.
I get it. But
I think this battle needs to be fought on an individual level. Companies just want to make money. They have people to pay. I get that. So I think that that's what they're really trying to do, is that they're trying to get ahead of the regulatory hammer. But they're taking this initiative on their own. They're not being asked to do this. So I think it's more so of protecting themselves, kind of guarding themselves. But on an individual level, when they try inevitably to get individuals to implement this system, that's really where we have to hold the line. Because think about it. The old system works very different than the new system, right? Bitcoin's peer-to-peer. The old system, if I wanted to send Opti money, unless I gave him cash, right, I would have to send it through a third party, right? Like, hey, yo, give me your Cash App. So I would have to upload money to, I'd have to, put money on Cash App from my bank account, from my bank account to Cash App to Opti, Cash App to his bank account. So that's like 3 different institutions involved in that. And that makes it very easy for governments to gatekeep. But now with Bitcoin, it's peer-to-peer. And again, they're in the bargaining phase right now. They're trying to say, hey, look, we could implement we could implement the old system of where we had the gatekeepers we had the third party gatekeep for us. Now they're trying to do the same thing. What they haven't realized, which is why they're coming up with the vocabulary like unhosted or hosted wallet, is, dude, you're just going to force people to take self-custody, store in Bitcoin, spend in Bitcoin, pay people in Bitcoin, and then what are you going to do? Can't do anything, right? Anyways, Ragnar, are we crazy, bro? You have a unique perspective on this because you're Nigerian, correct?
Correct, Nico, and you are, 100% correct. We in Nigeria, we use Bitcoin peer-to-peer, and the reason is obvious. Bitcoin is not banned in Nigeria, but the exchange of Bitcoin for fiat is what is banned. Like your bank, the banking rails have been cut by the government. So nobody is saying you can hold Bitcoin. And because of that, even after that announcement was made last year, there was a massive premium on Bitcoin. The next day, I keep talking about the thing called the Streisand effect. When you try to make something hidden, you push people to go and find out what is that thing that the government doesn't want me to have. And that had the effect last year. And a lot of people came onto Bitcoin, and we use it peer-to-peer, like you said, on WhatsApp, and especially massive Telegram groups where you just come on. There's an escrow, individuals that are well trusted and act as escrow, known in the group. And when you just come on, I have this, 2,000 naira worth of Bitcoin to sell, and someone says, please let us deal. And escrow takes it up, and within a few minutes it's done. You see, we use Bitcoin in this way, and people use it peer-to-peer to settle trades, buy things, and also, import things from outside the country. So you see people sending Bitcoin to China to bring in goods because we have a lot of trade relations with China. People import a lot of things related to mobile phones. It's very common trade in Nigeria because a lot of people now use mobile phones. Mobile phones have penetrated, I think, at this rate, more than 90% of the population already. So people, and the government says you can't spend more than $20 a month outside the country. Your own money, your dollars you have, not even the bank, not even naira in the bank. You got the dollars from an exchange, from a private exchange, deposited it in the bank, and still the bank will tell you cannot use that money. Recently, just yesterday, few days ago, there's a big dollar shortage in Nigeria right now, and people cannot even withdraw their dollars already. It's already happening. Many people don't know this yet. It has not got into the news, but people are already complaining individually. And I guess this is happening in other countries because the dollar is currently scarce because of what Jerome Powell is doing. Dollar is scarce. Everybody's looking for dollars to pay back their debts. So we are having these issues, but Bitcoin is there to be used peer-to-peer for anyone who is interested. And people are getting that message. The message is going out there. So if these people continue to do all this, their travel rule, we don't listen to them. Like, we laugh when we hear those things. It doesn't affect most Nigerians because we don't have anything, mostly don't have much to do with exchanges, to be honest.
Yeah. No, and that's what makes me so bullish on developing countries is that you guys skip that completely, right? Because you never had the finance, and something really interesting happened in Africa as well, right? And then we got to move on to the culture because we're running out of time. That Africa skipped the whole landline thing. They went straight to cell phones. And I suspect with Bitcoin, the way it works, right? I suspect the same thing's going to happen. I think all of Africa is going to skip the legacy financial system, and they're just going to go straight to Bitcoin, right? It's just easier, right? If you guys already have mobile phones, if a large portion of the population has mobile phones, that's Bitcoin works. Whereas in the legacy financial system, you need entire infrastructure just to facilitate that, right? And it's perfect. And for example, in Bitcoin Beach, the reason that in El Salvador, the reason that it was so popular is because they couldn't get legacy infrastructure there to set up debit cards and credit cards. So they skipped it altogether and they went to Bitcoin. And I suspect in Africa, you're going to see the same thing. And that's what really makes me extremely bullish for developing countries adopting Bitcoin versus developed countries adopting Bitcoin. Because developed countries, the fact is that they were able to develop the financial rails to such an extent that it made a lot of people comfortable and complacent. And they think, oh, Cash App, PayPal, it's so easy. It's so simple. Like, why? It's Bitcoin. This thing's uncomfortable. And they completely miss out what the benefits are of having a decentralized system versus centralized system. But I suspect in the next couple of years, right, as countries start to, and the sovereign individual predicted this, as they start to lose that monopoly on money, they're going to become more and more and more totalitarian, to use Christine Lagarde's own words, to try to cut off that escape valve, right? Because they can't have that. So anyways, really, really interesting. I'm very excited for the next couple of years. Guys, take self-custody of your Bitcoin. You don't want to be caught with your pants down. But anyways, let's go to the culture. Daily Culture. Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. Swan incentivizes self-custody, and they also incentivize dollar cost averaging. Spread out that risk. Visit SwanBitcoin.com today. Also want to bring up Pacific Bitcoin. It's going to be the largest Bitcoin conference on the West Coast, November 10th through the 11th in Los Angeles, California. Speaker list includes Lynn Alden, Corey Clipston, Jeff Booth, Dylan LeClaire, Pierre Richard, Eric Kassan, Mark Moss, Alex Gladstein, Jeff Ross, and many, many more. Definitely want to get your tickets to Pacific Bitcoin, and you can take advantage of the promo code down below to get 10% off.
What's up, everyone? We are here for the Daily Culture, and I hope you guys saw this article. If you didn't, this is why I'm covering it, because Pete Rizzo dropped another great article on Forbes about Bitcoin Max. So I'm gonna get into it a little bit, show you guys, highlight a few portions. I don't know if you guys read the whole thing. I definitely recommend it. I know that Forbes, you have to pay for this stuff. I literally paid for this article so that I can get you guys this sauce in here, because this is the information that I believe we need to spread, that people need to hear more of this. As we say all the time, the powers that be do not want to spread the positive narrative around Bitcoin. And it's just awesome to see work like this being published on something like Forbes. So let's get into this by Pete Rizzo, editor at Bitcoin Mag, and he goes, how to be a Bitcoin maximalist. So I'm going to cover a few points, and then we'll add our 2 sats on the end. So as he starts, is call it a sign of the bear market, but the debate over Bitcoin maximalists is once again all the rage. Of course, everyone hates on the Bitcoin maxis when the price goes sideways. There's no room for them to scam you anymore. And the Bitcoin maxis are so mean. And there has been no shortage of articles on the subject, on its origins, inconsistencies, and what is relevant says about the warring isms in the market at large. It is a worthy effort after all. The exploration succeeds in eradicating one of the worst lenses imposed on the sector, that its social groups are a symptom of investment asset mania, no different from those blindly betting on meme stocks in the traditional markets. We tell you guys all the time that Bitcoin is not about speculation. It's about saving your wealth into the future, minimizing the uncertainty of your future wealth being debased. Anyways, it's a view which, while common in the media, excludes the essential differential. Cryptocurrency market isms are built on claims about the economic and computer science advances Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have achieved, and thus have a direct relationship to those claims. While some are the product entirely of fandom, others are more complex, attempting to both define a scientific position and then encourage beliefs and conduct based on those claims. Indeed, it is the latter definition which best categorizes Bitcoin maximalists and why it has emerged as a flashpoint for a crypto industry in the midst of a down market. And he references his last Bitcoin maximalist article, which he dropped surrounding the whole Nick Carter, my star is rising moment. And so in my most recent Forbes article, I introduced a 3-point definition arguing the movement is shaped by certain beliefs. 1, that Bitcoin is a free market economy and fair monetary system operating outside the state. Beautiful. That the advancements of its economy limited by further invention. Agreed. That all crypto assets compete with this definition, offering weaker guarantees for users and thus should be opposed to varying degrees. We say this all the time, man. Shitcoins are garbage. There's Bitcoin and there's shit coins. But fundamentally, the main problem with most of these shit, they don't talk about trade-offs. And I think Bitcoin maximalists always talk about trade-offs. And we understand Bitcoin isn't perfect, but it's the best we have, and it is, you know, the best tool we have. Like, that's what it is. So anyways, adding to the ire is the final point that Bitcoin maximalism is an antithesis to the dominant ism of the day, crypto agnosticism, or the belief that all or many crypto assets are unique investments in an emerging asset class in which Bitcoin is but a digital gold in the process of being outcompeted or replaced. Still, I'll admit this definition stops short of being satisfactory, as Bitcoin Maxi's chief offense is its antagonism. And indeed, it is that practical applications its critics most often reject. Arguing Bitcoin maximalism encourages Bitcoin maxis to be intolerant, belligerent, and to ignore and misrepresent the reality of the market in practice. What did we just talk about in regards to the travel rule? They always frame all Bitcoiners as bad criminals because of, you know, a small portion of individuals. Is because it's such an easy target to paint us all under a big broad stroke and be like, look at this bad Bitcoin maxi. They're all like this. And it's like, we are individuals. That means that individuals are going to act how they want to act. Furthermore, as we say all the time, you know, Bitcoin is for enemies. I don't have to like you just because you're in Bitcoin. Anyways, I'm not going to get into it too much. I have even been accused of seeking to reclaim the term in my writing, excusing the bad behavior of some Bitcoin maximalists in an effort to elevate the ism's more virtuous tenets. What did I say? We even get framed when we try to, you know, speak nuance about this. Like, look, we're not all like this one person. You get called, oh, you're just excusing the bad behaviors of certain people. And it's like, no, there are assholes within Bitcoin. Yes, that doesn't mean that Bitcoin is bad. Anyways, however, my response would be that this is an essential exercise. Without separating the aspiration, the ism, from its adherent, the is, it's impossible to evaluate what Bitcoin maximalism encourages either in theory or in practice. Still, should there be a gap between the ism and the is, this piece will seek to correct it. So with that vantage, my assertion is most Bitcoin maximalists are united in the following beliefs, which, while challenging to the status quo, are ultimately positive for Bitcoin users and humanity at large. And so he states 9 points. I'm going to cover them relatively quickly. I'll point some of the things that I think are really cool and really, we need to emphasize. So number 1, a commitment to safeguarding Bitcoin for future generations. This is why Bitcoiners are so savage, is because we understand that if this Bitcoin experiment works, it's going to be here for a long, long time. And I say it all the time in spaces, like, what more noble goal do you have than trying to free humanity from monetary enslavement? This is what we mean, safeguarding Bitcoin for future generations. Bitcoin maxis believe that Bitcoin is the lone global digital alternative to state-managed economies that, by virtue of its design, can withstand both government attack and centralization over time. And thus, it alone among monetary systems has the opportunity to offer truly neutral money in perpetuity. They therefore, above all, seek to preserve the future use of such a system by humanity. In this view, Bitcoin Maxi's foremost goal is to help other users secure both the system itself, Bitcoin, and the assets in its economy, Bitcoins, for future use. We say this all the time, man. Like, we are standing up for something that we believe in: freedom of people to transact and to do what they want to do with their money. Why is there a small group of people that tell you how you can and can't spend your money? As we said in the beginning, it is your money. How can they tell you what you can't and can do with your money? It's absolutely insane to me. Anyways, 2, a commit to running the Bitcoin software. We tell you guys this all the time. Use a node, verify your transactions from the Genesis block so you know you are running Bitcoin and not using fake coin. Anyways, Bitcoin maxis believe that the defining feature of the Bitcoin economy is the ability of all users to audit its money supply and history of transactions by running software. This is what 2017 block war was about, guys. This is why you can look over in shitcoin land and see all the issues going on with Ethereum right now, is because all the servers are on AWS. No one can run a full node because, we got to put everything on the blockchain. World computer, every transaction on the internet needs to be on the blockchain. No, your money should purely be money. Bitcoin doesn't need to be bloated with all this other stuff. I want it to purely be money. Feature, not a bug. 3, a commitment to slow software changes and enfranchising users. As we say this all the time, if you are a dev in Bitcoin, it can be very hard for you to try to experiment because people will try fundamentally up front just tear you apart, because don't fuck with our money. This is what we're talking about when we tell people like, yo, the more you mess with Bitcoin, the more you mess with the code, the less certainty there is in the code and in your money, or you're storing a value into the future. So again, Bitcoin Maxis see Bitcoin as the product of decades of failed attempts to build working digital cash, and that this invention does not require significant improvement. They believe should a gap between the capabilities of the Bitcoin software today and its full potential be uncovered, approval of the technical change should be a slow and deliberate process, one that is only made with near universal consensus and no vocal dissent. Remember what I told you guys yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, about Bitcoin is boring. This is a feature, not a bug. Don't fuck with the money. Don't mess with the monetary policy. Hey, if you want to tinker, go tinker in shitcoin land, but you're not going to tinker with Bitcoin code, because don't mess with the code, guys. Stop adding uncertainty into the monetary network. This is not helping anyone. This is actually doing more damage than good. This is because Bitcoin maximalists accept the right of all users to run and use the software at all times. As we tell you every single day, use a node, run a node, verify your transactions. This is the way, guys. You need to stop trusting people, outsourcing your money to other people. Anyways, I know we're running on time limits, Nico, but a commitment to building products and services.
It's all
on
good,
Bitcoin.
dude. It's the Friday. You could finish.
It's the Friday. All right. We say this all the time, man. You are a Bitcoiner. We are capitalists. You should try to build on Bitcoin. You should try to create products surrounding Bitcoin. And, you know, I endorse anyone trying to build on Bitcoin. As we say here, you know, Bitcoin Maxis acknowledge entrepreneurs will attempt to build products and services for Bitcoin users which operate outside the Bitcoin code base, but seek to hold these businesses to a high standard. And we get this all the time, guys. As a Bitcoin maximalist company, a Bitcoin only company, we are held to a higher standard, I believe. And I accept it and I condone this. And I tell Nico all the time, we have a responsibility to be as ethical as we can in our journalism, in the products that we endorse, in our sponsors, because we understand what is going on here, guys. Bitcoiners should be building products on Bitcoin. We should be advocating that we are, you know, capitalists, that we want to continue and help the world by building on Bitcoin. But hold yourself to a high standard, guys. This is what we do, because, hey, I don't know about you guys, but if you look around at shitcoin land, they're all greedy scammers that are just trying to push a pump and dump garbage. It's like they're recreating the fiat world on the blockchain. It's like, give me your plastic trinkets, but on the blockchain. Much innovation, big wouts. No, give me substance. Give me something that will last. If I'm going to give you my Bitcoin for a product, I fundamentally know that it better be a superior product, because I do not want to trade my Bitcoin for something that's not going to last a long time. Remember how many times I shill everyone is a scammer. Go to nakamotoinstitute.org and reread everyone's a scammer. Get your mind right, guys. But Bitcoiners, build on Bitcoin. You need to push Bitcoin by creating the products that you want to see, and furthermore, creating the products that people, normies, the average person can use. Continuing. 5, a commitment to using Bitcoin to the greatest extent. As me and Nico talk about all the time, you know, we seek to extend the Bitcoin economy. Like, I try to pay all my friends in Bitcoin. I'm not one of these very vocal Bitcoiners and telling people, you know, at stores, like, you need to take Bitcoin. But to my friends, I'm like, yo, all I have is Bitcoin, bro. Like, you know, pay whatever, like, you're gonna get Bitcoin. Is that good with you? And they're like, yeah, cool, man. So Bitcoiners accept that the system today is not capable of yet managing the full financial lives of users, but believe that over time they can develop services that extend to the use of Bitcoin to encompass more of this activity. What did I just say? Bitcoiners, build the products you want to see, you know, continue to build, but just don't mess with the monetary policy, please. 6, a commitment to opposing censorship and surveillance. We literally just covered this in the news section. Sure, the Bitcoin software will be maximally successful. Bitcoin maximalists seek to acknowledge the attack vectors by which the network could be subverted. Nico makes fun of me all the time. I'm the in-house truther. I'm very skeptical of almost anything surrounding Bitcoin, and this is a feature, not a bug. You know, Bitcoiners or Bitcoin maxis are the white blood cells of the network. I know we eat our own sometimes. I know that you know, it's very toxic out there, but this is a feature, not a bug. We are here to protect the network, but also, guys, again, build the product and push the things that you want to see in the world. So 7, a commitment to supporting mining by any and all means. We say this all the time. Nico, literally mines. We've gone so far into the receipts in regards to proof of work that it's essential to the operation of the network. And to believe there are no alternatives to the system that exists without trade-off that would reduce the viability of that economy. This is because at its heart, they believe proof of work is the only consensus method by which a cryptocurrency can be distributed to anyone in the world in a free market without barriers. And a commitment to crypto minimalism. We're skeptical of every claim to technical advances made by other shitcoin softwares, and to seek to maintain and bolster a culture of scrutiny. Continue to be toxic. Continue to think for yourself, and stop outsourcing your thinking, guys. Create good products, but hey, be critical. Scrutinize the work out there, because the more eyes out there, the more we know that Bitcoin is bug free, and the more we know that our money is secure. Feature, not a bug. And 9, this is what me and Nico say all the time, and I absolutely love that he added this: a commitment to keeping Bitcoin open for all. I fundamentally, as a Bitcoiner, and I know Nico, and I'm pretty sure Ragnar as well, believe everyone in the world should use Bitcoin as money, and that the Bitcoin economy will ultimately be used by all people, regardless of race, religion, or nationality. I'm gonna hit some horns on that one, guys, because Bitcoin is for anyone. It doesn't matter who you are. You can opt into the system. It's an individual choice. There's no gatekeepers here. There's no, perfect group for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is for everyone and anyone that is willing to put in the time. So thus, Bitcoiners seek to inform and educate people from all walks of life about the benefits of Bitcoin when possible, assuming that everyone can benefit from the use of Bitcoin. And furthermore, right here in the conclusion, as always, this is Bitcoin, so recognize that no one is telling you to adopt this framework if it's not useful to you, least of all myself. I say this to you guys all the time. I'm not here to tell you how to live. I am just here to tell you what I think is the best products, and I think is the stuff that we need to be talking about. But still, if Bitcoin maximalism is to succeed as an ism, becoming in the view of author Balaji Srinivasan, an influential system of beliefs on the world stage, my argument remains that the movement can become more positive and aspirational, less defined by what it is against and more defined by what it is for. I know you guys call me Softy Opti. I've been pushing the good word of Bitcoin, and I'm really glad that this is how he ended this article, because I fundamentally believe this same idea of, it's not about tearing down the ideas that you don't like. It's about pushing the ideas that you do like. And I'm reminded of the Buckminster Fuller quote. It's like, to create a new world, you don't tear down the existing world. You create a better world, a better system, and you push that. So at the end of the day, again, guys, this is fundamental. This is signal, pure signal right here. At the end of the day, no amount of aggression on the part of Bitcoin maxis will make the wider crypto economy or the world of government monies disappear, nor will it fully advance the goals of the Bitcoin movement as a whole. Nothing I can do as an individual can make you change how you view the world. I can try to, I can try to inspire you. I can try to motivate you. I can try to make you see what I see. But fundamentally, this is a revolution of the individual. This is a choice that you must make on your own. This is something that you have to come to the conclusion to. So, Pete Rizzo, I absolutely love this article, and I'm, like I said at the beginning, I am glad that this article is on Forbes, because we need to have more of this type of messaging out there, guys. Write articles about the stuff that you do like. Write articles praising Bitcoiners, praising Bitcoin the network, because more people need to know. The problem is the fiat system, and the solution is Bitcoin. And this is the stuff that we need to be seeing, guys. This is why I do the culture aspect, is because I want to push stuff like this. I want people to see that there is a solution out there, that, that we aren't just psychopaths, that we aren't just assholes out here. It's like, we have reasons for why we do what we do. We have convictions, we have principles, and we stand by them. A man's word ain't what it used to be, but Bitcoin is here, and there's a lot of people that are standing up, calling out the bullshit, and knowing what is true. Stop fucking with the money. 21 million hard cap, censorship resistant money. This is the way, guys. Stand up for what you believe in. I've said it all the time. The only ideas that matter are the ideas that you're willing to stand up for. It's time to stand up, guys. It's time to put your feet down and acknowledge what you know to be true. Stop hiding from the truth. Stop letting people tell you what is true. You know what is truth. You're a human being with a brain, with a moral compass. You know what is right from wrong. Stand up for what you believe in. Bitcoin maximalism is the way. Pete, shouts out to you, bro. Let's continue to push this type of messaging. Rant done, Nico.
Woof. Yeah, man, that was one of the best daily cultures ever. When an article gets released like that, you have to understand the significance of it. This is taking what's really happening is you're taking Bitcoin maximalism mainstream, right? You're exposing. Look at the top of the article, man. That is literally the Joker burning US dollars, and that's on Forbes. And that's a huge deal, right? And another aspect of it as well is that Forbes was also the publication where Pete published something called The Defense of Bitcoin Maximalism, which we also covered on this show, when Nick Carter was attacking it because he got butthurt that his investments went sour because of the bear market, right? So this is what this is all about. It's really pushing Bitcoin maximalism mainstream. And the reason that's important is because that will highlight the fact that the money is broken, and hopefully that will wake up people on both sides of the political spectrum to, hey, maybe it's not the people on the left. Hey, maybe it's not the people on the right. Maybe it's the fact that the money is stealing from all of us, and that unhinges people, man. That's really what this is all about. Anyways, Ragnar, what are your thoughts, brother? Going once, going twice, going 3 times.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was mute there. Bitcoin is truth. By the way, I love your rant. Up to that was amazing. I was just having a good time here. Bitcoin is truth, and therefore it sends the signal of truth to people who are associated with it. And wherever we go, when you understand Bitcoin and know that it is truth, you will be able to call out the falsehood in almost every other thing. And we extend that even beyond shitcoins to the government, IMF, the Fed. You call out this climate scam, you call out the scam in the medical sector, of which I am part of it. You call out these things because you know the truth. You have the truth. You store your energy in the truth. I think that people who are against Bitcoin maximalism are people who still have something to learn. They have something short in their learning of what money is. Because when you get that understanding, you will become a Bitcoin maximalist.
Bro, that was, and I'm going to steal that for a tweet, but that was one of the best things I've ever heard. You store your energy in the truth. Wow. That's an extremely powerful message. This is exactly why we invite plebs on the show, because you guys are used to the sound bits from the people that are well known. A lot of them are friends of mine, good people, right? But you never hear it from the plebs, and you always hear something special. Oh man, that was awesome. Anyways, Opti, it's a favorite part of the show. Let's get to the meme review, if I could find the transition. Here it is. Boop. Daily meme review. Brought to you by Citadel 21. It's the best Bitcoin cultural zine. It's stories, articles, comics by actual Bitcoiners. This is the artwork for volume 11. This is the artwork for volume 10. And this is the artwork for volume 2. Volume 2 is almost sold out because there's only 1,000 physical copies made per volume. So get your prints of Citadel 21 today before they run out. All right, what do we have for today?
All right. I know you may not think this is like a Bitcoin meme, but shouts out to Hodl Never Sodal. I love this meme and I had to add it. As I was on the side of the road getting to Austin with a blown out tire, I saw this meme and I'm like, this is coming on the show. But before I get into it, guys, remember to put your score in the YouTube chat so we can get a few of them at the end of the show. So anyways, Hodl Never Sodal goes, Ron Paul for you. He goes, be me, be born in 1935, watch the U.S. go into 7 wars. Watch the U.S. debt increase $29.9 trillion. Watch the U.S. dollar lose 95% of its value. Try to warn everyone. Try to warn everyone again. Try to warn everyone a third time. Get shunned by the media. Nobody listens. Keep talking anyways. This is that Bitcoin maximalist energy. Like, no one listens to you until, you know, they need Bitcoin, and usually it's too late. But keep talking anyways, keep spreading the truth, keep spreading the sound money gospel, because people need to know that the solution is here, and it is Bitcoin. Anyways, the next one is by Chairforce BTC, and he goes, it's science, and it's a male plus money, he's in a relationship. A male plus Bitcoin, and he's got 2 girlfriends. A male plus 6.15 Bitcoin, and he's got a harem.
No.
A man plus Ethereum
No.
equals just a man.
Skip it. No.
Okay. All right. I got in trouble, guys. Sorry. Tried to sneak one in there. The next one is by 21JCLP. Bro, I love your memes. You are killing it. Continue to make the memes. I love this one. If you don't know what this is, do some more research. And he goes, proof of work, first proof of stake, Bitcoin 24/7, and it's proof of work, and it's Hal Finney running, doing his marathons, and it's proof of stake. And I'm almost positive this is Vitalik. Choose your sides, guys. Choose your sides. Anyways, again, sometimes the memes are good quotes, and you need to, you know, spread these memes. And of course, this is a quote by Thomas Sowell. Again, go watch his stuff on YouTube. It's great stuff. But anyways, a soundbite. Inflation is a quiet but effective way for the government to transfer resources from the people to itself without raising taxes. I know this is simple. We say this all the time, guys, but the people need to know there's new people coming into the fold, and memes like this hit hard when you're newer in eloquent, simple form. People need to know, man, taxation is theft. And your government's stealing from you, like, full stop. Anyways, I don't think this is a new meme, but shouts out to the Bitcoin conference. Fix the money, fix the world. And we got, you know, all the people, they're basically getting whipped by the central bankers. Central banker tries to make everyone bow down except for Satoshi Nakamoto creating Bitcoin. And then the central bankers trying to make you bend the knee, and the Bitcoiners are standing up. And then we get to critical mass adoption where everyone is a Bitcoiner. You fix the money, fix the world, and the central bankers will bow down, because once you take away their power, what do they have left, guys? Bitcoin is playing for all the marbles. When Bitcoin wins, fiat will go to zero, and the people that are fully invested in fiat will have nothing. Feature, not a bug. Anyways, shouts out to Toxicat. I really liked this meme. Had to add it, and he goes, I use my time to fight the weef. You use yours to celebrate the weef. We are not the same. Let's go. Okay, guys. So for my meme review score, it's not just my Austin Airbnb like Nico usually does. It's this little sign right here. Let the good times roll, boys. It's going to be a good weekend. We're out here in Austin having a great time. Shouts out to everyone in Austin. See me tomorrow. I will be live hanging out with you guys at BitBlock Boom. Anyways, Nico, what's your score?
Yellow. That's my score.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's on my head again.
Great score.
I got to get him out of my house, dude. Ragnar, what would you give those memes?
I'm going to give those memes 1 Opti Awu and Bitcoin.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, let's read some scores from the audience. Here we go. We have Brandon. I give those memes some seed oil disrespect. Very nice, very nice. I give those memes the secret hardware wallet hiding yellow inside. I give those memes a yellow hat. I give those memes my 6.15 Bitcoin haram. Okay, very nice. Harem. Oh, sorry. Extemo says, I give those memes an old dial-up phone, which you can't for Bitcoin. Oh, very nice. And 1 yellow grenade from Gua. We got, I give Beats Boys tears. Yellow, how are you typing if you're on my head, bro? What's going on?
He's telekinesis.
Dude, this guy could do everything. It's crazy. He is the Bitcoin CEO. I rate those memes a cat farm. Very nice, very nice. Anyways, guys, don't forget to join our awesome Telegram group. If you want your meme reviewed, that's where you could link it. You could post it. There's a bunch of plebs posting. I think we're up to like 500 something people. You could hang out. It's a pleb hangout. A lot of conspiracy theory stuff nowadays, but I guarantee you'll have fun. And of course, definitely go check out simplybitcoin.news. Shout out to Sats for Life. Shout out to Zach. Incredible writers.
Dropping nukes, dropping
the signal. It's this show, but in written form. You definitely want to go check it out. It's absolutely free. All you got to do is visit www.simplybitcoin.news. Jacob's going to get mad at me. And to join our Telegram group for our audio listeners, check out t.me/the channel. Anyways, I think there's a website by Plebe. Let's check it out. Plebsites. Brought to you by CipherSafe. Don't be that person that stores their Bitcoin seed on paper. Paper is prone to water damage, fire damage, dog attacks, everything. Your seed can be eaten by dogs or cats or animals if you store it on paper. You definitely want to store your seed on steel, and there's no better place to do it than the CipherSafe. Get yourself a Cipher wheel or a Cipher grid today. Visit ciphersafe.io. All right. The Plebsite is Simply Bitcoin Unfiltered. Totally forgot that was the Plebsite for today.
Shill it.
Anyways, check it out, guys. Last couple articles. Unelected World Economic Forum instituting global sedition and acts to silence wrongthink.
Nico, can you click on that thumbnail? I'm really proud of that Weef one, the top one. Click it so that people can see it. I absolutely love this. Me and Rustin collabed on this one. Dude, it's beautiful. This is my job. I get to do this stuff. Like it's amazing. It's awesome.
Man. It's really great. Here is exit complacency, enter life. Amazing article.
Great article.
Wake up. 100 years of Fed failure. All this has to do with freedom, the Bitcoin revolution. You guys definitely want to check out Simply Bitcoin Unfiltered. www.simplybitcoin.news. Definitely check it out. Also want to give a very special shout out to our awesome sponsor, representltd.com. Opti and I wear the hoodies every single day. Opti's wearing the t-shirt. He's wearing the orange pill t-shirt. That's his favorite. We always have favorites. Nico likes the camo hoodies, and Opti likes the t-shirts. Soon we're going to start wearing tank tops and become like BTC Ben.
I don't mean to cut you off, Nico, but I was wearing this shirt earlier today, and I'm in a Airbnb with a bunch of Bitcoiners, and shouts out to Rope. He looked at the shirt. He's like, damn, that's a tight ass shirt, yo. Like that shit is dope. So
dope.
Doing what we can to spread the sound money gospel through the merch.
You can't stop the signal. You can take advantage of the promo code down below to get 10% off. representltd.com. Anyways, guys, that was our show. I want to give a shout out to Ragnar. Ragnar, where could people find more about you?
Yeah, I'm just. I think Twitter is just it. At A Ragnar on Twitter. That's where I post and shit posts with you guys.
Awesome. And that's exactly why we brought him on the show. Definitely want to go give Ragnar a follow. Anyways, guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Subscribe. I want to give a shout out to our researcher, Hans. Also, give a shout out to producer Jacob of Swan Bitcoin. They host the spaces with us. Also, shout out to Yellow. Yellow's been staying at my house for the past month. It's been extremely uncomfortable. I've been trying to catch him. He always runs away. He kicks me in the and then he runs away. God damn it, Yellow. Anyways, that was our show, guys. Tomorrow, we're not going to have a show because Opti and I will be hosting BitBlock Boom from the BitBlock Boom Spaces account. If you're following me, Opti, the Simply Bitcoin, you'll see us in Spaces. It's going to be live from 8:45 a.m. Central Time to 5 p.m. We hope to see you guys there. There's going to be a crazy lineup tomorrow at BitBlock Boom. Jack Mahler's. They're doing a rabbit hole recap live. We're going to be streaming all of that from Twitter Spaces, so you definitely don't want to miss it. Anyways, guys, we love you, and we will see you on Monday for a brand new episode of Simply Bitcoin.
which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.